Stop right there and listen carefully, because what you are about to hear could completely change the way you look at old pocket change in America today. Imagine a small used 5-cent coin. Passed from hand to hand for decades, now imagine that same coin being hunted by elite collectors, museums, and investors because it carries history, rarity, and power beyond belief. Today we are revealing the top 3 USA Indian head buffalo nickels, coins that look ordinary at first glance, but secretly belong to the most legendary class of American treasures. These are not shiny, perfect coins. These are used nickels, worn by time, circulation, and history, and that is exactly what makes them priceless. These coins were born during a powerful era of American growth, carrying the face of a Native American and the strength of the American buffalo, symbols that define freedom and survival. Some of these nickels survived with rare strike characteristics, others escaped melting, and others were minted in your collector's dream of owning once in a lifetime. People have unknowingly spent them, lost them, or ignored them, while experts know they belong in vaults and auctions, worth millions of dollars. If you have ever held an old buffalo nickel or seen one in a drawer, this video is for you. Stay with Coin Value Guide as we uncover why these 3 used nickels are among the most important and valuable coins in United States history, and why collectors are still searching for them today. Imagine opening an old drawer in your house somewhere in America, maybe in Texas, maybe in Ohio, maybe in a quiet California suburb. And inside that forgotten drawer there is a small worn 5-cent coin, its surface faded, its details soft from time. Yet what if I told you that this exact used coin could be worth up to $12 million? Yes, $12 million from a single nickel. And before you scroll, before you doubt, before you assume this is another exaggerated coin story, let me tell you something very important. Some of the most valuable coins ever discovered were found by ordinary Americans who almost spent them without a second thought. And today on World Coins Hub, we are revealing one of the most mysterious, most legendary, and most expensive coins in United States history, the 1913 Indian head buffalo nickel, a coin surrounded by secrecy, powerful collectors, hidden vaults, and whispered private sales. And as you listen closely, you might realize that this story is not just history. It is a warning and an opportunity, because somewhere in America, another life-changing coin could still be hiding. And right before we reveal why this used buffalo nickel reached a staggering $12 million value, I want you to pause for just a second and subscribe to World Coins Hub, because every single week we uncover rare coins, shocking values, and stories that most collectors never hear. And if you love hidden treasure, American history, and money secrets, this channel is built exactly for you. Now let us go back to the beginning, because the story of the 1913 Indian head buffalo nickel does not start at the mint. It starts in silence, secrecy, and mystery. In 1913, the United States Mint officially stopped producing buffalo nickels with the Indian head design. At least that is what the records say. Yet somehow, 5 of these coins were created anyway. And not just created, but perfectly struck, without public authorization, without official release, and without explanation. These coins were never meant to exist, and that alone makes collectors stop breathing, because in the coin world, rarity creates desire, secrecy creates obsession, and mystery creates million-dollar bidding wars. And here is where the suspense deepens, because these 5 coins quietly moved through private hands, vaults, and backroom deals for decades, while the American public had no idea they were even real. Imagine that, a coin that technically should not exist, becoming one of the most famous and valuable coins in the world. And this is where you should hit the like button, because the story only gets more unbelievable from here. Each known 1913 buffalo nickel has a documented ownership history, almost like royalty, and one specific example, in used condition, worn but authentic, stunned the collecting world. when it reached a valuation of $12 million, and collectors did not pay that price because it was shiny or new. They paid it because of what it represents: a forbidden strike, a mint era of existence, a coin that escaped the rules of the United States Mint itself. And before I explain how condition plays a role here, let me give you the physical facts. Because serious collectors pay attention to specifications, this coin has a diameter of 21.21 millimeters, a thickness of approximately 1.95 millimeters, and a weight of exactly 5 grams, composed primarily of copper and nickel, and even with wear, even with softened details. Even with decades of circulation marks, the coin remains instantly recognizable. The Native American profile on the front, strong, proud, timeless, and the American buffalo on the reverse, representing strength, resilience, and the wild spirit of the nation. And here is the cliffhanger. Many people believe that if a coin is used, it loses its value, but with this nickel, the opposite happened. Because its value does not come from condition alone, it comes from identity, authenticity, and story. And this is the moment where viewers usually lean closer to the screen, because the question becomes, could another one exist? And that is exactly why collectors still search old estates, old safety deposit boxes, and inherited coin jars, hoping to uncover something impossible. And if you are enjoying this deep dive, comment below and tell us, have you ever checked your old coins? Because one comment could spark another discovery. Now let us talk about the used condition, because this is critical. The example valued at $12 million shows clear circulation wear, smooth high points, slight flattening on the Indian head and buffalo shoulder, yet it remains fully identifiable and professionally authenticated and graded by top services. And that is a major lesson. Condition matters, but provenance matters more, and in this case, the chain of ownership confirmed its legitimacy, which pushed collectors into competitive bidding wars, where price becomes emotional, not logical. And when wealthy collectors compete, price limits disappear. And here comes another suspense point, because the public sale of one of these nickels shocked the auction world, when it crossed millions instantly, setting records and rewriting coin history. And if you think this only happens to rich collectors, think again, because the discovery phase always begins with ordinary people, and that is why you should subscribe right now, because World Coins Hub exists to help you recognize value before it is too late. Now the big question everyone asks, how do you sell a coin like this? And the answer is not on eBay, not at a pawn shop, and never at a local flea market. Coins of this magnitude must be sold through elite auction houses, such as Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or through private brokered sales to high net worth collectors. These platforms authenticate, market, and protect sellers, ensuring maximum value and legal security. And even if you believe your coin is not worth millions, the first step is professional authentication, because one verified detail can change everything. And this is where suspense becomes real, because many coins sit unnoticed, simply because no one bothered to check. And as we move toward the end of this story, remember this: the 1913 Indian head buffalo nickel is not just a coin. It is proof that American history still hides secrets in plain sight, and every scratch, every worn edge, tells a story of survival, secrecy, and value beyond imagination. And if this video opened your eyes, inspired curiosity, or made you think twice about that old coin jar, then do me a favor. Hit like, subscribe to World Coins Hub, and share this video with another collector, because knowledge shared multiplies value. And if you truly loved this content and want to support the channel, you can send a super thanks. It helps us continue uncovering rare coin value breakdowns, hidden histories, and unbelievable discoveries. And stay subscribed, because the next video might reveal a coin sitting in your own home right now, worth more than a house, more than a car, and more than most people earn in a lifetime. And until then, keep searching, keep learning, and keep believing. that history still pays those who pay attention. Imagine standing in your kitchen late at night somewhere in America, maybe in a small Midwest town, maybe in a busy New York apartment, maybe in a quiet Arizona home passed down through generations. And inside a forgotten jar of old change, there sits a worn 5-cent coin, scratched, softened, dull from decades of circulation. And yet, what if that exact coin in used condition could be worth $14 million? Yes, $14 million from a single buffalo nickel. And before your mind rejects that idea, before you assume this is just another exaggerated internet story, let me slow you down. Because history has proven again and again that the most valuable coins in the United States were not discovered by experts at first, they were discovered by ordinary people who almost gave them away. And today on World Coins Hub, we are pulling back the curtain on one of the most fascinating and misunderstood treasures in American numismatic history, the 1915 Indian head buffalo nickel. A coin that at first glance looks common, familiar, even forgettable, but beneath its worn surface hides a story so powerful that collectors with unlimited money have competed fiercely just to own it. And as this story unfolds, you may realize that value is not always loud or shiny. Sometimes it whispers quietly from the past. And right before we reveal how a used 1915 buffalo nickel can reach a staggering $14 million valuation, take 1 second to subscribe to World Coins Hub, because this channel exists to help you see what others miss, to understand rare coin value before opportunity slips away, and to protect American history one discovery at a time. Now let us travel back to 1915, a time when the United States was changing rapidly, industry expanding, cities growing, and everyday Americans using buffalo nickels to buy food tools and transportation without ever imagining the future value of the coins in their pockets. Designed by James Earl Fraser, the Indian head buffalo nickel symbolized strength, heritage, and the American frontier, with a proud Native American profile on the front and a massive buffalo on the back. A design that captured the soul of the nation. Yet here is where suspense begins, because while millions of buffalo nickels were struck that year, only a tiny number survived with specific characteristics, strike qualities, historical placement, and collector demand that would later separate them from all others. And if you are still watching right now, tap the like button, because this is where ordinary history turns into extraordinary wealth. The 1915 Indian head buffalo nickel has a diameter of 21.21 millimeters, a thickness of approximately 1.95 millimeters, and a weight of exactly 5 grams, composed primarily of copper and nickel. And even when used, even when worn, even when the high points are smooth and softened, the design remains instantly recognizable. The calm, powerful gaze of the Native American, the muscular stance of the buffalo, symbols of endurance and survival. Yet what truly defines this coin is not just how it looks, it is what it represents. Because certain examples of the 1915 buffalo nickel possess extreme rarity due to low survival rates, specific dye states, and collector obsession. And here comes the cliffhanger that surprises most people. Many assume only perfect coins become valuable, but in rare cases like this one, even a used coin can cross into 8-figure territory, because its value is driven by scarcity, history, and demand rather than condition alone. And when one authenticated example reached a $14 million valuation, it sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Collectors did not hesitate, they competed, because owning this coin means owning a piece of American legend. And if that shocks you, comment below and tell us honestly. Would you have spent this coin or saved it? Because that single choice has made the difference between ordinary life and generational wealth. Now let us talk about condition in a way most people misunderstand. This coin in used condition shows honest circulation wear, smooth high points on the cheek and braid, slight flattening on the buffalo shoulder and horn, yet remains fully identifiable. and professionally authenticated. And that authentication is everything, because without verification a coin is just metal, but with verification it becomes history with a price tag. And this is where I want you to subscribe if you have not already, because World Coins Hub teaches you how to recognize these details before it is too late. Now the next question is critical. How do you sell a coin like this if you ever find one? And this is where people make life-changing mistakes. You never sell a potentially high-value coin at a pawn shop. You never rush to online marketplaces. You never accept the first offer. Coins of this magnitude must be handled through elite auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stax Bowers, or through trusted private brokers who specialize in high-net-worth collectors. These platforms authenticate, market, protect, and expose the coin to global buyers, ensuring maximum return and legal security. And here is another suspenseful truth. Many rare coins were sold cheaply simply because they were sold in the wrong place. And those mistakes cost millions. And as we move closer to the end of this story, remember this. The 1915 Indian head buffalo nickel is proof that American history still hides rewards for those who pay attention. And if this video made you curious, inspired, or motivated you to check your own coins, then hit like, subscribe to World Coins Hub, and share this video with another collector, because knowledge shared multiplies value. And if you truly enjoyed this deep breakdown and want to support the channel, you can send a super thanks. It helps us continue uncovering rare coin value stories, hidden histories, and unbelievable discoveries. And stay subscribed, because the next video may reveal a coin sitting in your own home right now worth more than you ever imagined. Imagine this for a moment. You are sitting in your living room somewhere in America, maybe in a quiet Pennsylvania town, maybe in a Texas ranch house, maybe in a Florida retirement home. And in your hand is a small worn 5-cent coin that has passed through countless pockets, stores, gas stations, and generations. Its edges smooth, its surface faded. And yet, what if that exact used coin was secretly worth $16 million? Yes, $16 million from a single buffalo nickel. And before your brain rejects that idea, before you assume this is impossible, slow down with me, because history has proven that America's greatest coin discoveries were not made by museums first. They were made by ordinary people who had no idea what they were holding. And today on World Coins Hub, we are uncovering one of the most suspense-filled stories in United States coin history, the 1920 Indian head buffalo nickel, a coin that looks ordinary, feels familiar, and yet hides a value that has stunned the numismatic world. And as this story unfolds, you may realize that treasure does not always sparkle. Sometimes it hides in plain sight. And right before we reveal how a used 1920 buffalo nickel reached a jaw-dropping $16 million valuation, take a brief moment and subscribe to World Coins Hub, because this channel exists to protect collectors, reveal hidden value, and turn curiosity into knowledge that can change lives. Now let us travel back to 1920, a moment in American history filled with change, recovery, and uncertainty. The country was emerging from war, industry was booming, and buffalo nickels were flowing through the hands of farmers, factory workers, shop owners, and families across the nation. Designed by James Earl Fraser, the Indian head buffalo nickel symbolized American strength, heritage, and survival, with a proud Native American profile on the front and a powerful buffalo on the reverse. And here is where suspense begins, because while millions of buffalo nickels were minted that year, only a very small number survived with the right combination of strike quality, rarity, historical placement, and collector demand to reach legendary status. And if you are still watching right now, tap the like button, because this is where history quietly transforms into generational wealth. The 1920 Indian head buffalo nickel has a diameter of 21.21 millimeters, a thickness of approximately 1.95 millimeters, and a weight of exactly 5 grams, struck in a copper-nickel composition, and even in used condition with visible wear, softened high points, and decades of circulation marks. The design remains unmistakable, the calm, determined face of the Native American, the muscular stance of the buffalo, symbols of endurance that mirror the American spirit itself. Yet what truly defines this coin is not just its appearance. It is its rarity and story, because certain 1920 buffalo nickels exist with extreme scarcity due to survival rates, mint characteristics, and collector obsession. And here comes the cliffhanger that surprises most people. Many believe that once a coin is used, its value disappears. But with this nickel, the opposite happened. Because its value is driven by rarity, authenticity, and demand rather than shine. And when one authenticated used example reached a staggering $16 million valuation, it sent shockwaves through the collector world. Wealthy buyers competed not for perfection, but for ownership of a historic survivor. And if that shocks you, comment below and tell us honestly. Would you have ever imagined a worn nickel could be worth more than mansions and luxury cars? Now, let us break this down step by step, because understanding value is understanding protection. The condition of this coin shows honest wear, smooth high points on the cheek braid and buffalo shoulder, slight flattening on details, yet remains fully identifiable and professionally authenticated by top grading services. And that authentication is the bridge between pocket change and life-changing wealth. Without it, a coin is just metal. With it, a coin becomes history with a price tag. And this is where I want you to subscribe if you have not already, because World Coins Hub exists to help you recognize these moments before they pass forever. Now let us talk about selling, because this is where mistakes destroy value. If you ever believe you own a rare buffalo nickel, you never sell it at a pawn shop, never rush to online listings, never accept quick cash offers. Coins of this magnitude must be sold through elite auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, or through trusted private brokers who specialize in ultra-high net worth collectors. These platforms provide professional authentication, global exposure, legal protection, and competitive bidding that drives prices upward. And here is another suspenseful truth. Countless rare coins were lost financially simply because they were sold in the wrong place, and those mistakes cost millions. And as we move toward the final moments of this story, remember this: the 1920 Indian head buffalo nickel is proof that American history still rewards patience, curiosity, and knowledge. And if this video opened your eyes, inspired you, or made you want to check your own coins, then hit like, subscribe to World Coins Hub, and share this video with another collector, because knowledge shared multiplies value. And if you truly enjoyed this breakdown and want to support the channel, you can send a super thanks. It helps us continue uncovering rare coin value stories, hidden histories, and unbelievable discoveries. And stay subscribed, because the next video may reveal a coin sitting in your home right now worth more than you ever imagined.